This is crazy. How can you have these two people doing this exact same thing? I cannot possibly comprehend. I'm interested.
I hope there's a third.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I just don't know what the hell it could be.
Hey,
What I say? What I say?
Well done, Rolf.
Thank you.
Always empty, it's quiet. And then when she returns, 9 minutes later, the bed is empty.
Peckish for answers. Mysteries and conspiracies.
Welcome back to Peckish for Answers, episode 15. I am your host today. I am joined by my lovely two co-hosts and good friends, Rolf. Say hi.
Say hello.
Sorry.
There we go. And Oscar.
Hello.
Before we begin, we are doing the word game today. Our friend has given us a word each to try and say. And you can kind of play along at home. But if you'd like to know what our words are, you don't want to play along, I will put them on screen in 3, 2, 1. And now they're off the screen. So some editing magic will happen, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to kind of get straight into it. So we are looking today at a very interesting case. Actually, well, yeah, a very interesting case. I'm just put that. We are going to South Africa. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'll love that, Rolf. You are South African. So you can probably help me with the names, maybe, because
Okay.
That was quite good.
That was quite good. So this is the kind of hospital ceiling mysteries, almost. It's,
the what?
The hospital mysteries, basically. The mystery of, I'm gonna say this is wrong. Teteteke, and then it's Gqontsi, but it's got the
I'm doing it.
You do it, Nick. Go on.
Well, I don't know how to say that.
The Q sound is the click. Apparently, it's the
I don't know the rest of it.
Gqontsi. But I'm not gonna do the click because I can't do it. So I
can't do it.
It's just gonna be Teteteke Gqontsi, and his is kind of a yeah. So anyway, I'll go straight into it. So we are in. It is October 5th, 2017.
Whoa!
So quite well, you know.
Most recent one we've done.
Yeah.
Yes, we have actually. Yeah. We are inside the quiet recovery ward of Stellenbosch Hospital in just outside Cape Town. 61-year-old Teteteke Gqontsi has just made it through a complex, highly invasive abdominal. That's going to be a lot.
That one, mate.
Yeah, that's right. There's going to be a lot of this one. He's had an abdominal. I can't. Whatever. He's had.
Just say belly. Just say belly.
He's had a highly invasive belly surgery, and he's kind of waking up from the surgery. He's being put on, heavy anesthetic and to ease the pain. It's it's hard for him, but he's in good. The surgery went well. He's in good spirits. It's all good. So he's on narcotic pain relievers designed to keep him fully sedated and comfortable. His belly is held together by fresh, fragile surgical stitches. He cannot sit upright without assistance. He can't even stand or walk without assistance either, because it's just too much pain for him. He can't do it. And he's hooked directly to IV monitoring machines. Your daily, usually what you see in hospital. But then about exactly 5:15 a.m. on that day, the nurse on duty completes her routine check. Teteteke is resting quietly in his bed. She exits the room and walks down the hall. So she goes in and she says, I'm going to go and change your bed linen. It needs changing. So she exits for 9 minutes to go and get the fresh linen from the closet. The hallway's empty, it's quiet, but it's, it's just a hospital, normal hospital. And then when she returns 9 minutes later, the bed is empty, completely empty. The sheets are thrown back, the IV lines have been unhooked, and there's no sign of like struggle or blood trail, maybe like your stitching gone bad or something. Nothing like that. Completely, it's just he's almost vanished out of thin air. Okay, she's worried at this point. He shouldn't be able to just go where he wants. He's very heavily sedated. So the hospital immediately initiates a localized code yellow lockdown, which means security guards kind of check the exits, they review the perimeter cameras, and they search the immediate outdoor grounds and gardens. No camera shows anything of him being anywhere, him leaving the hospital or anything like that. The local police are then called, and the family, the hospital think maybe he snuck out and we just didn't see him on the cameras. Maybe there's he exited like a way that the cameras can pick up. So they phoned the family being like, is he at home? They said, no, he should be there. Like, we left him with you. Like, they're getting really worried. So they come up and they do this search again, like a bigger, wider search with the police for days. So I think it was 3 days search for this for Teteteke. And they had dogs trace the area, but the trail goes completely cold. There's nothing. They couldn't find this guy. I kind of want to go over to you. I know there's not a lot of information to go on, but I just want to get your initial thoughts of what do you think has happened to old Teteteke? He's 61-year-old, just come out of a intensive belly surgery. So what do you think is going on?
Well, I think he's just walked out and they just not seen it on the cameras. I mean, I imagine they haven't got a camera in his room. Otherwise, they would have at least seen that.
No,
but,
that's very intrusive.
I mean, yeah, it's not like he's absent. Is he on the first floor or something? Do you know what floor he's on? Ground floor?
I don't know that information. I think it's quite small. It's not like a massive hospital.
I imagine that. I mean, my first instinct that he's just wandered off. He's probably hallucinating a bit, and he just wandered off. But
he, okay.
I think that he's crawled under the bed, and nobody's looked under the bed yet. And you're going to tell me
you think 3 days search, and then no one went. Let's look under the bed, guys.
It's too. It could be too obvious. It could be too obvious. Maybe he's standing behind the door. That like hide and seek spot where you just in the crack. Yeah.
Or he went under the bed. Like maybe he went under the bed, and then someone looked in the closet, and then they left, and then he got up and he went in the closet, and then they looked under the bed, and they're like, "Well, we looked under the bed and the closet, and he wasn't in either of them." See?
That's cheating. That's cheating, though, in hide and seek.
Maybe.
But, yeah, go on, Oscar.
Or someone else in his. Is he in a shared ward or is he in his own room?
His own room, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Someone else in another room's just died. He's scooped out their insides, climbed in, and then they don't know that it's him.
In 9 minutes?
Yeah.
This guy can barely walk or even sit upright.
Yeah, he can do it if he wants to.
Well, that's the thing. You say he could barely walk or even sit upright. How do you know he's not just being lazy? Like, he could just be like...
He's just come out of surgery, you mob.
Yeah, but he could be like...
I assume you mean like, because I guess his abdominal muscles would be sliced open.
They're sliced open.
But he can use his
But
hands.
if he wanted to, he could, he could like crawl, So
okay.
I think he just got the hell out of there.
I'm just thinking, okay, could he? So I mean, if he's also heavily like on lots of painkillers, obviously the pain's not going to be much of a problem. So he can wander off. I mean, I think it's very plausible that he's just sort of walked out. But I also feel like it's interesting because I feel like him leaving the hospital just isn't that interesting of a mystery, which is why I feel there's much more to it.
Well, obviously there's going to be.
That it is that. I think maybe it's something.
Okay.
I think he's either still no.
I think
Problem
it's
is,
he
even if he
can't.
was still somewhere in the hospital, he would have had to get out
Yeah,
of bed. So
I
that's
was
still a
thinking
problem.
maybe
It's
if
more likely
he's
that he's left the hospital.
yeah, I was thinking like maybe he's like dressed up as a doctor or something, and they've not found him. But there's no way he couldn't walk properly. So
At the moment, I think it's most likely that he's just managed to. He's like very painkillered up, and he's just managed to just walk out of the hospital like completely fluke, walks past everything, and the security cameras don't see him.
yeah, and I
But
think that
I'm
is
also
quite
very
common
much
as well.
leaning towards the concept of him getting up, walking somewhere, getting stuck behind, I don't know, a vending machine or something, and he's now currently rotting behind that vending machine.
Ooh,
okay.
that's a good idea.
Okay.
That's what I'm sitting on.
Yeah, he crawls in some
That's-
little space.
Yeah, I feel like because I know this is some sort of eerie mystery, I'm going to lean more towards that option than the primary one, which I think is more likely. But because there's something going on here, I think my secondary one's more likely.
Maybe people's tap water's going to start tasting funny.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just basically walked off.
Oh, that's fact, is it? Or...
No.
Ah.
So the family. So fast forward 13 days later, right? They still haven't found this guy. Okay. The family is still protesting. They are, they're quite upset. They're really, worried about this guy. And the local media is asking questions. And kind of the hospital. When people were asking questions about the hospital, what's going on over there? And then, so 13 days later, in an adjacent wing of the hospital, a minor utility renovations was underway. And a construction worker steps onto a ladder, pushes open a heavy interlocking drywall ceiling tile to inspect the building's wiring, and shines his flashlight into the pitch black crawl space. And deep within the ceiling rafters, jammed tightly between insulation barriers and metal air conditioning ducts, lies the advanced decomposing body of Teteteke Gqontsi. He never left the hospital.
Hey, you
What
got
I
it,
say?
Nick.
What
You
I
got
say?
it.
Well done, Roll.
Thank you.
Incredible that he could climb up there. I guess that's going to be how part
Well,
of
I
the
guess
mystery.
that's arm strength, you know?
Hey, he must have been jacked.
So, he is 61 years old, and just normal build guy. So, to kind of paint a picture for you, these ceiling tiles are highly secure, heavy, and require vertical leverage to this place. Okay, they're not light. They're quite heavy tiles. Okay, and there are no built-in ladders in the patient rooms. So to get up there, a person must find a way to scale a smooth vertical wall, reach a ceiling height of nearly 9 feet, push a heavy tile aside, pull their entire body weight up into a dock, suffocating the hot crawl space, and then crawl dozens of meters through sharp steel framing and fiberglass insulation. All of this had to be happen quickly, quietly, and without generating any noise, by a man who could barely move his torso without agonizing pain.
Mm.
Maybe he got bitten by a spider. He turned into Spider-Man. Maybe one snuck into his abdomen when he was undergoing surgery.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like on all these painkillers and stuff, he could.
Do you still think, even with all the painkillers, he could do that incredible feat in 9
Well,
minutes?
look, the way I see it, there's two options. Someone's either wedged him up there. I don't know who. Like, why would someone want to wedge a man in there? Though? Like, it doesn't really make sense. And also in a place where they're doing active construction, like, obviously that's going to be looked at. So that's why I don't know. I kind of lean towards if there was active construction there, then maybe he's just interested. And he was like, oh, I don't know. Like,
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, the thing is, okay, firstly, so the painkillers, so maybe that kind of gets rid of the concept of pain being a problem in some ways. I don't know exactly what drugs he was on. Do you know what drugs he was on exactly at the time?
I don't know exactly. There was it was described
if he had adrenaline,
it's just narcotic pain relievers. So they're quite like heavy stuff.
Because I'm thinking if it's
heavy pain
something
relievers.
like those like videos like the Americans getting back from the dentist and they're like saying all this weird shit.
Oh yeah.
if it's something like that, then like maybe he's like was delirious, and he's like, oh, I need to get to heaven. I need to get to heaven. He starts crawling up into the ceiling, and then he starts crawling along, and he's like, it's so warm, and there's so much lice, like fiberglass. And he thinks the fiberglass is like clouds, and he thinks he's there, and then he just goes to sleep up there.
Does seem quite cozy up there. Or maybe he was really hot, and because it was a piece of duct, air conditioning duct, maybe he was like, "Oh, get me to that cold, light breeze," and then he just, got nice and cozy.
But the weird thing is, this is what kind of gets me, is that I don't think I've ever really heard a case of someone being on like heavy painkillers or like the hospital grade narcotics and doing kind of weird, crazy.
Well, doing
crazy
that is
shit
weird.
like that.
But people do like. I feel like people do wander off a lot at hospitals.
Yeah.
But
maybe,
wandering off is one thing. Scaling almost 9 feet of wall.
Yeah, the logistics are harder.
Heavy grades, like heavy tile, and then lifting yourself up into that.
Yeah, but the only other option is that someone's put him there. But
well, I mean, maybe he's. I mean, we don't know anything about this guy. Maybe he's a gang leader, and someone's out to kill him.
It's South Africa, so it's not the most safe place in the world, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe it's someone comes in and is like, right, that's it. You're going up here. You're going in the top. Maybe it's someone who works there and they know all about like the ducts and everything.
Yeah, but
and they just want to chuck him up there. And like he's heavily sedated, so he's probably quite easy to move. Maybe it's like a coordinated effort, and there's like 3 of them, and they're big, strong men, and they come in and pop him up.
Kind of depends what the CCTV covers, because I don't know if you can see people coming in and out, or
the CCTV sees what they see on the CCTV now that they know that he was up in the duct, because they might be like, well, there's these 3 big guys. Like, the thing is, if you let's say you've got 3 big guys and this is planned, you could definitely probably do this in like 9 minutes. A very quick procedure of.
Also, I'd like to know, maybe the guy didn't remember, but like the state of how the panel was and stuff when they got in there. As in, the first guy that went into the construction site after he climbed in there, was the panel off, or was it back on, or was there a ladder under the panel? But I imagine when he went in, he wasn't thinking, oh yeah, dead guy up there. He probably just went back to work. So.
And did the autopsy reveal anything? Maybe we'll get onto that, but.
We'll get onto that, but I will answer your question about the cameras, though. From what I've read and researched, the cameras at the hospital weren't great.
Cameras are never great. I guess that's why things are so mysterious.
There was main cameras at the main entrance and exit of the hospital. I think there was cameras in like the main ward of the hospital, but they weren't great. They were very outdated and there wasn't a lot like for what you'd expect in like a British hospital. Like this South African hospital, there just wasn't as many cameras. Like security was not.
What time?
Great.
What time did you say this occurred?
5. So she came in at 5:15. Left and
PM or AM?
AM came back at 5.
Yeah, you see,
so it was a very quiet time.
Well, exactly. So like, I feel like you'd notice, like people would remember the people that would come if any visitors were like coming into the hospital. If it was like midday, then there's probably loads of people coming in and out. But 5 AM, surely no one's coming in and out. So yeah, but, okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stop you there because. We're gonna do some traveling. We're going on a little plane over down to still South Africa, but we're going over 1,000 kilometers to the other side of South Africa in Durban. Okay. So
wait, are we coming back to that mystery door?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. Sorry.
So we're going all the way over to Durban, so the east coast of South Africa. We are at the how do you say Gandhi's first name?
Mahatma.
Mahatma. There we go. Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Hospital in Durban, and we have Sandal Sibia. Sandal Sibia. He's a 53-year-old tough, physically hardened industrial construction worker. And he is admitted to the high traffic casualty ward following a brutal accident that completely fractured his femur, which apparently, if I didn't know, is apparently the thickest, strongest bone in the human body.
Oh, I knew it was I thought it was the longest, but I didn't know it was the thickest and the strongest.
Apparently, it's the thickest. Where was I? He had a fractured femur, and so he had to go to surgery for this. He's completely bedridden. His leg is heavily splintered and placed in a traction device. He cannot stand. He cannot turn over, and putting a fraction of weight on that leg would cause immediate blackout-inducing agony. Apparently, that's how painful it was. And he's awaiting transfer to a specialized orthopedic.
Yeah, got it.
Unit. I got it. And then on May, so this is 2 years later, by the way, on May 13th, 2019, amidst the chaotic morning shift change where doctors and nurses are swapping clipboards and rushing between beds, Sandal Sibia vanishes from his casualty bed.
This is in Durban.
Completely different hospital. And just like Teteteke, his traction equipment is cast aside and his bed is empty. And like they did with Teteteke, the security performs a sweep of the immediate hallways. But the facility is overcrowded, frantic, and poorly monitored. And then the bit different in this case is, instead of days, this has turned into weeks. They have not found this guy. He's gone.
And they haven't even checked the ceiling yet. Oh.
Smell's going to start building up.
So the hospital begins. The hospital begins suffering from a temporary local water shortage.
Ooh.
And an awful thick smell begins
wafting
through the corridors. Staff initially shrug it off as a plumbing failure on washed lines due to the water crisis at the time in South Africa. They were like, it's just, the water crisis and whatever. And then on... it wasn't weeks, sorry, it was days, actually. It was days. It was longer days. It was 11 days. So 11 days after the experience, security guards enter a locked, restricted staff storeroom directly off the casualty ward. They notice dark fluid and droplets of blood slowly seeping through the porous seams of the overhead ceiling tiles, dripping onto the floor.
That is so cool.
You are disgusting.
No, it's so cool to hear. Like it's sick. I love stuff like this. Yeah, go on.
They call maintenance, place a ladder against the wall, slide open the ceiling tiles, and look inside. Wedged directly above the bustling casualty ward is the decomposing body of Sandal Sibia. What do you think is going on here, boys? Two of them now.
Both in the ceiling void. Void.
There's both in the ceiling. 2 years apart. Two completely different hospitals.
That is weird, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing...
really stumped.
What is in a ceiling void that they would, or what is up? I mean, your heaven thing might be true, but it's weird that they'd both be doing that exact same thing.
Also, I want to say they were wedged. I think they were both wedged in like the fetal position, by the way, like that.
Yeah, which is so it could be like hypothermia or something, and they want to get somehow they need to get warmer, and they're going there.
Yeah,
the fetal position, that is interesting. That's interesting because if they're in the fetal position, that's sort of like it's all of this so far is really, really pointing towards them doing it themselves. Like someone else putting them there. Like, why would you end up in the fetal position if someone else is putting you there? If anything, they would okay, I know that the first guy was heavily sedated, but if someone's forcing you into a tight space, you would be fucking panicking and lashing out. And in both situations, correct me if I'm wrong, there's been no evidence of violence or lashing out or damage to any of the surrounding structures. So either A, they are so heavily sedated that they're just not bothering lashing out, which maybe the attackers increased their dose. I don't know. But can I ask, with this femur man, how was he also on the same concoction of narcotics?
I don't know. I believe. I don't think it was the exact same, but it would have
I
been
assume
like.
there'd be some in
It would
common.
have been, just he would have been like, heavily.
Because he would have had
sedated.
major surgery, I imagine, if he fractured
Well,
his
he was
femur.
waiting. He was waiting. He hadn't had.
Oh,
His
so he hadn't
surgery
had
yet.
surgery.
So I got that wrong. He hadn't had surgery.
Oh.
He was waiting.
So it must just be the painkillers.
He was. Yeah, it's just painkillers because he's waiting to be transferred to a specialist unit because it was such a his leg was so messed up that it had to be done by specialist surgery.
I mean, I don't know what exact drugs were used. Maybe there was a new drug in the market that was just being rolled out, and then they were used on both these people. But maybe the only thing I can think is maybe they're seeing something or hallucinating, and they're trying to hide from something, which is why they've gone,
That's interesting.
into like a ceiling, into the corner, and they're like terrified, and they want to hide. But other than that, that's kind of all I've got.
I think what I'm interested to hear is what the autopsy reveals in terms of what they had in them, because that will change that will debunk or the one small theory I've got in that, like I said, if you're going to be shoved into this tight space, you are going to be panicking. So the only really way that I could see them getting someone in there is if you sedate them, basically knock them out with more drugs, and then put them up there. And then I guess you'd have to put them in the fetal position yourself. I think a lot of this is really leaning towards them doing it themselves, especially considering they're in the fetal position, especially considering there's no lashing out and panic. And I know you're saying, how did he manage to pull himself up, etc. But, people do crazy things. People can do crazy things when they're on adrenaline or on drugs or on anything. They can accomplish some pretty wild feats. But this is crazy. How can you have these two people doing this exact same thing? I cannot possibly comprehend.
I wonder if there's a third.
I'm interested.
I hope there's a third.
Yeah,
I'm interested. I just don't know what the hell it could be. I think it's like, you know what? It's probably maybe there are other instances of this happening around the world, not quite in the ceiling, but in similar sort of veins.
maybe.
But this one's just coincidental that both happens to be in the ceiling.
The thing is, the ceiling is weird because it's not like if you said hide somewhere to me, or I don't know, just get out somewhere. I'm not going to default to the ceiling. That just seems like the most difficult place to get to. So I just try and find.
Especially if I'm fucking drugged up, that's not the first place I think.
Well, exactly. So that's what I just can't really work out. Why the ceiling?
The other thing is, you obviously explained that it's very difficult for this man, the first man, to get into the ceiling.
Both men. I mean, the other guy's broken his femur. He can hardly walk.
Fuck yeah, that's so true. But how does he get into the ceiling? Did he go in up through his room and then crawl along?
I don't know.
I'd like to see.
In all fairness, this femur man is going to be obviously on heavy painkillers as well. So he's probably
the only difference. I'll remind you, the only difference is that the second guy, Sandal, he was found inside a locked storeroom's ceiling.
But he can't travel through the ceiling to a locked storeroom ceiling.
It was directly above the high traffic casualty ward. So I'm assuming he could.
Well, it depends on the build up of the wall, I guess, if it goes all the way through.
But there was no evidence of, his ceiling where he was kept and the casualty ward that, above him, directly above him or anything like that around him. That was,
I mean, it could.
So he probably went to the locked storeroom and then went up. And someone probably just fucking left it unlocked. Like it's not.
Yeah, that's
maybe
why.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think it being locked is a huge like swayer, but I mean,
Yeah.
it could always be that this is somehow, gang related, and maybe like, do we know how they got their injuries or why that guy needed abdominal
So the
surgery?
first guy, I believe, he was just like
Did he just have an infection or something?
Infection or something. I think, yeah, he's a 60-year-old. He's a father of 6. Very standard bloke. I don't think he had a job. I think he was retired. So yeah, I think he was just old. He went in for standard surgery. And the second guy was he was a construction worker, 54, I believe.
Yeah.
And he just had an accident where he basically broke.
I mean, it could be someone else, but I find it unlikely. It's so risky and like such a populated place. But then, I guess they are more vulnerable in that position. So if you wanted to get them, then that is better.
Yeah.
But,
Seems like a crazy, especially with that guy in the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, the second guy. Again, the difference is first guy very quiet, 5 a.m. No one really around. Second guy it's peak time for the hospital casualty. People, the nurses changing their hands, everything. It's going crazy. There's so many people there.
I'm just thinking, if you were to try and do that to that guy, it would be. I mean, first off, you probably wouldn't even. You'd think it's unlikely he'd even be able to stand up. So even if your plan was okay, let's pretend to be a doctor and pretend to say, oh, you need to come with us now. They're probably like, oh, that's not going to work. He's fucking broke his femur. He's not going to be able to walk.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it seems. Yeah, I'm really heavily leaning towards.
I think the most likely is some sort of they're hallucinating.
I think I'm leaning towards they've done it themselves on this concoction, and they're it's just coincidence.
All right. I have their autopsy reports. Yeah. I was thinking about doing a little break. Might break. I think we'll go for a little break, and then we'll come back. We'll do the autopsy, and then see what you guys think, and then we'll just finish it off with the final kind of theories. That I've got some leading theories that people believe, and you guys can have discussion about those and see what you think.
Yeah.
All right,
cool.
So grab yourself a nice little snack, little drink. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I hope you have had a nice little snack and a little drink and refresh yourself. While we were on break, Oscar was talking mine and Rolf's head off about this thing that's happened, and I don't know, he really needs to get off his chest. So here it is, Oscar's moan of the week.
Well, I've not been moaning about it, but I'll just bring it up now. And it's not necessarily a moan. It's just observations. It's just observations on day-to-day life.
It's going to lead to an observation that leads to a moan. I'm telling you.
But yeah, I've been writing down my moans, and they sort of get exponential because I write down like 5 a week, but I only get to do one every 3 weeks.
5 a week?
I don't know. Just whenever I think.
You are the most miserable person.
But anyway,
ever. What's going on?
So this one revolves around travel and specifically flying.
Okay, I like. Yeah.
There's a lot of things about people at airports that fuck me off. One of them is you'll be flying to, most people probably flying like 2 hours or something, like from Gatwick.
Yeah.
And half the people rock up in fucking pajamas, slippers, they got their eye masks and stuff. And it's well, you're literally sitting on a seat for 2 hours. Just dress up, just dress normally. You're still in public. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going out in my pajamas. I'm just wearing my shorts and a jumper. I'm sitting in this seat for an hour and a half. I'm not with my pajamas. I can sit like a normal human being.
No, but
why are they in their pajamas?
I never see anyone wearing pajamas. I don't know what you're talking about.
I see people for me whenever we do that, I come home, I always just put my joggers on. I get nice and comfy. I feel like that's just the same. They want to be comfy. They don't want to be sat in jeans. I do this.
Yeah, but you're sat in a seat. You're just sat in a seat for 2 hours.
Yeah, but when I go to the airport, I go in comfy joggers and I more baggy-ish clothes because I don't, because you're such a it's not that you're just sat in a seat a comfortable seat. You're sat usually, if you're most of the airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, all these budget airlines that most people actually fly on, you're in this really uncomfortable seat for 2 hours. You you can move, but not really, and you're uncomfortable. You want to be you want to be as
people
comfortable
are just
as possible.
people are too
No, I do-
faffy, and it's too much of a shaboo. Like I don't even know if that's a word.
I do agree with you a bit. Yeah, that
It's
like,
just like you're just
if it's a
sitting
2-hour
down.
flight, you don't need to go in your
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn up in pajamas on my flight.
Well,
Just to
fine,
know.
yeah, just know me. But another thing, I mean, that's just one of the things. So another thing is like, I mean, it's a famous one, but when the fucking seatbelt light goes off and everyone's like, boof, and they're getting up to the suitcase, it's like, bro, like, and then they just stand in the aisle. It's like, what are you doing? And then people are like, and people are, and I hate when, because you know, the aisles just go out. When people from like behind you, their rows, they don't let you out. You know, when like it should just be. You know, each aisle comes out.
Right,
and some people just don't let you know. It's like, well, you know, why are you more important? I'm not even in a rush, but like, just chill out. I don't know why. Everyone's just so faffy in planes and stuff. And people just seem to, like, some people just seem to like attention seek on the plane and just walk around. It's like, well, if everyone walks around, there's not going to be enough space. So just sit down for 2 hours and that's all you have to do. It's just,
when I get on a plane, like a short haul flight, I never get up for the whole flight.
do I.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Just sit there.
I do, but I have like the bladder of a child, so
I've got an insane bladder. So.
No, my bladder's awful, so I will use that toilet like quite a bit. But
well, I don't know if you should out him for that on here, but well, I don't know what sounds better now, if we out him or just leave it. People
leave it.
Got their own stuff.
Yeah, just leave it, mate.
But yeah, and there's plenty of other things in airports, to be honest. I love going to the airport, but I just find people are just weird when they're getting in the airport. They're just all in a rush. It's like, you know, it's not gonna leave. Well, it might be.
You hadn't mentioned this, but one of my biggest moans at the airport is when people, you know, when like your gate gets called and like then people rush up to queue up in a line to then go and sit down on a plane. I don't understand that. Like, we're all assigned a seat.
Oh, you mean when it starts boarding?
Yeah, we're all assigned a seat.
There's like a 20-meter line.
Yeah, there's no point in lining up to get to your seat that's assigned.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And also, speedy boarding. What is the point in speedy boarding? You get on the plane to sit down and then wait for everyone else to come on. What?
Yeah,
surely
it's the biggest scam going.
The best boarding is the last probably boarding. Well, I guess not, because you don't have space for bags necessarily. But I also been on to another one, the baggage reclaim, where everyone is like half a meter away from the conveyor belt, and they're like, oh, that could be my bag. And some people as well, they just want to get involved and they just pick up every bag and they're like, oh, that could be mine, even though it's a completely different color. And then they like put it back on the belt. It's like, well, it's obviously not yours. And if everyone just stood back and then just went forwards when it was their bag, then everyone could get space. But you're like wrestling for position. I hate that stuff.
I got the baggage reclaim for ages.
No.
Wow.
It's real.
I can only conclude that you have much more stressful times at the airport than me.
Yeah,
it's not stressful.
I love the airport.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love airport. I love flying. It's great.
Yeah,
people take it for granted.
I do agree with most of those. The pajama one, I do like let people be comfortable. I think.
Yeah, they can be comfy, but you know, just like it's just sitting down for 2 hours, so just chill out.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. All right.
I like that. All right. That was Oscar's little moan of the week. It's a good one. I like that one, Oscar. All right. So we found 2 different men, Teteteke and Sabia, both heavily drugged up and have injuries that means they can't walk properly and without lots of pain. And days later, they've both been found in a ceiling, decomposing.
This is 2 years apart.
2 years apart, yeah. 2 different airports. One on the west coast of South Africa, one on the east coast.
You mean where hospitals, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said airports. Yeah.
Oh, did I? Hospitals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you wanted the autopsy results. I've got them. You're not going to be very happy, Rolf.
Well.
So, the official one for Teteteke said the official autopsy results pointed to natural causes of death. The state argued that he died of exposure or underlying illness while trapped. And that's pretty much all they said. They didn't really go into much more detail.
Did they do a toxicology report?
Not in my case. I haven't found one. They literally just said that he died of natural causes due to exposure of illness. You know,
Yeah,
I
think
think they didn't do toxicology because he was decomposed too much.
I mean, if he
Well,
was
they
on
did
a
a couple of days.
if he was on a drip and he had like
It
open stitches and stuff.
was 13 days later.
For the first one?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
13 days later in a hot, tight airspace.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, fair enough. I didn't realize 13 days, yeah.
And the other one was 11 days. So the second one, Sabia, so this was conducted by Forensic Pathology Services. So this was like a private thing, I think. So the exact medical cause of death was withheld from the public ledger. They wouldn't let the public know what the exact medical cause of death. Authorities officially alleged he became trapped while attempting to escape and succumbed to exposure/trauma. And I forgot to mention, actually, sorry, that his face, his corpse, his face had severe disfigurement. Like his face, like basically messed up.
Interesting.
And they said they didn't really mention that bit. They just said he just died, succumbed to exposure trauma. And I think they said it's the decomposing of his body that led to his face looking like that.
Right. So it's not like he was scratching his eyeballs out.
Or he was beaten up.
But yeah, so that's all you really have for the autopsies. They don't really shed. They don't shed much light on the case at all. So kind of with that is all kind of we have about the cases, really. There's there's a few kind of arguments for what it might be. And they're kind of, there's two main ones, really. I can quickly go through them with you. So, argument A. So, this is a kind of online. A lot of people said this. This is quite a big case in Reddit as well. I've scoured lots of Reddit posts and stuff.
Yeah,
internet sleuths kind of looking at it. But so this one was what the official kind of state went for. They said that this was a neurological break, basically, they said. So they said severe physical trauma combined with major surgical interventions and heavy drug cocktails, such as morphine and stuff like that, sedatives, can trigger, apparently, acute hospital delirium or ICU psychosis. The brain apparently completely detaches from reality, inducing terrifying, vivid, waking nightmares, which is kind of scary. And they argued that in a state like this, your body defaults into primal fight or flight panic. And they said that they panicked and they went for the flight and they hid. Their body was full of adrenaline, and basically ignored all their injury and stuff, and they climbed to what they thought would be the safest place for them to basically survive. And they thought it was the ceiling for some reason. These two different men.
I mean, I guess that to be honest, if you were to think about it, where would probably be the best hiding spot? The ceiling. I mean, nobody found them for like 13 days both times, so that is that is the best hiding spot.
Well,
there's probably not many hiding spots in hospital.
That's true. That's true. They also say that this is kind of the burrowing instinct, almost, of when a human experiences severe psychological terror. The primitive survival mechanism often kicks in, urge to hide in small, dark, enclosed, elevated dens away from perceived predators. So that kind of not not down low, but up
Yeah.
high, away from a lion or something.
Yeah.
That would come and get you. So they believe that they found access panels. They crawl inside and they got trapped in the maze of all this ducts, and eventually succumbed to what you said, Rolf, earlier: hypothermia, dehydration, or internal bleeding. Once the adrenaline kind of weared off. So that's what the state's gone with. I think you guys kind of more go for that.
Well, I said they hallucinated. Didn't
I
I?
think that's pretty much spot on. I think we should give ourselves a pat on the back, to be honest.
Yeah.
There is another theory.
Oh,
And it's this one. This one is very big online. Lots of people believe this one over the kind of state media, and also the families. The family, especially Teteteke, doesn't like the first one. They don't believe. They do not believe that.
Obviously, because you don't.
I don't think. They wouldn't want to believe.
Whenever they say like the families don't think, it's like just disregard that, because it's not like there's so much emotion running through what their decisions are on. It's completely infactual. It should never.
So someone in my family fucking mass murdered someone. I'm not gonna like. And there's a lot of evidence. Like another one.
He's so him.
I knew it since I was born. Yeah.
So. The other big theory is that South African public hospitals faced severe understaffing and systematic distress. They weren't funded properly, and if basically a patient died in their bed due to a catastrophic medical error, due to negligence.
Sorry, what was that word?
Negligent.
It's the G first. Do the G first.
Negligence.
Yeah. There you go.
So basically, medical what's the word? Yeah, mishaps. Basically, they were worried at the time. If something like that happened, they would face multi-million rand lawsuits and criminal prosecution, which the hospitals could not face. They did not have the money for that. So they believe that these guys both died while under care, and the hospital staff didn't want to, say to the families, we've done a boo-boo and they're dead, in case of a million, lawsuit. So they used utility crawl spaces to hide the bodies, as it would take two people to lift the dead body onto a high rolling gurney or maintenance stepladder and slide them into the ceiling void, and then could say they are missing.
It's a very interesting one.
It is
I kind of do like, and I'm kind of annoyed I didn't think about that, because that is quite good.
Yeah,
that's quite good, and I can obviously see why that's obviously the much more appealing theory.
I don't know. I don't think it would be that. I mean, once this is one person, so surely other people have died from this short staffing and stuff, and they've got all these other lawsuits or whatever against.
But they might have been sued in the past, and this, like I said, the South African public hospitals could not afford lawsuits at this time.
But also,
they're so underfunded.
Why would the other hospital do the exact same thing and put it in?
Because they're underfunded as well.
Maybe they heard about this. Maybe they heard about this and they were like, "Oh shit, that's good. We should do that."
I just don't think they would. So, what's the idea that they were dead by the time they were putting them in?
Well,
yeah,
I think the idea is that they basically they were like, "Oh fuck, we just injected him with way too much morphine. He's just
he's died.
I just think it's weird that they both cases wedged them in a really tight space. As in, it wasn't just in the ceiling void; it was in the corner. And you said the second guy was through steel rafters and whatever, and they were both in a perfect fetal position. I I just think that's more naturally done by.
What I want to
by
say
each
though, just
person.
remember the autopsies. That second one especially was not, disclosed to public ledger, like, which is weird. A weird thing I think to do.
But what was the
That
reason?
is a weird thing.
that
That is a
couldn't
weird thing. Yeah.
These cases had, I think, quite a lot of media around them at the time.
But
So-
but if he found that the cause of death wasn't an overdose to morphine, why wouldn't they have made that public?
Sorry, what?
Well, if the overdose was if the death was caused by the hospital, like an overdose of drugs,
Yeah.
surely you'd want to make that public.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they make it public? This
Then
is
you'd
not
see-
the
you'd see
hospital
the-
doing it. This is the police doing it. Obviously, there's loads of corruption.
Well, you said it was like a private
there's-
investigator.
It's a
or something.
state, yeah.
There's a lot of corruption
Corruption,
in South Africa. Like it's the police
It's true.
are involved with the it's all owned by the state. The state is very corrupt. in
Yeah,
South
but
Africa.
surely people have asked this question. Like, surely that raises more suspicion.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
well, if they
Why
think
wouldn't
about
they
it,
come out? Why wouldn't they come out and say the cause of death was natural if it was corrupt? Then there wouldn't be any.
They did.
Well,
They
no, because
did
then
come out.
they had
Oh,
to.
you
They
said for the
sealed.
second one.
No. So the second one, they said they're not releasing all of the medical details. So like,
They publicly. Yeah, sorry, Rafgil.
So like, for example, I mean, I don't know exactly how it works, but for example, maybe they've got the toxicology report of his blood. That's one of the details or something, and that if you look at the levels in it or something, I don't know. If you look at the levels in it, you can deduce from that he died of a morphine overdose, for example. So instead of releasing that, because that would prove it, they say we're not releasing this for whatever reason.
Yeah, but
That's definitely a better outcome than releasing it. And people
yeah, but
know
what
it.
I'm saying is, why not just fix
They say,
fix
why
the
not
report?
fabricate it?
Yeah, and then release it as it being completely innocent and
Well,
Well, that's
You
a
know,
bit more. I think that's a bit more like that's one step further. They're not releasing it. They're not technically doing anything illegal necessarily. Maybe.
yeah, but I just think that
Whatever we
raises
are.
such high
and
suspicion.
also they were like, I think the media was kind of waiting for an answer as well. Like, and this, I guess, them saying we're not going to release this, but we think he died from, natural causes, is giving the media enough to kind of go away now. Like, we've given you enough, go away. Stop looking at us. I don't know. There is a little third theory that I saw on Reddit. I kind of thought it was a bit.
I will hear it.
But you can hear it. So, the third theory was that, similar to the second one, it was a massive cover-up of organ.
I like stealing organs.
Or stealing organs in South African hospitals. But the biggest downside of that is why would they leave them just in random vents to
Also, were they missing organs when they found the bodies?
From all the autopsies that I've had, which again very basic, doesn't mention anything about that. But then they wouldn't they argue on Reddit that they wouldn't say they were missing organs if
It was
they
all
were
a cover-up.
a cover-up.
Also, 2017.
Insane.
Could they not do any?
And 2019.
Sorry, 2019. Could they not do any DNA testing on the bodies or the panel
I'm sure they could, but
Well, what
they
are
don't-
you talking? What's the point of doing DNA testing?
to see who's touched the panels and stuff? To see who's
Oh,
got
you
in
mean
there?
finger? Oh, right. I see. Like
like fingerprinting and stuff.
From what I hear, what I've read, the police, they didn't really seem to care too much about these cases. They just kind of accepted what the hospital said.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
These guys were drugged up and they just went into a ceiling and died natural causes. And the police was like, all right, yeah, sure. They didn't seem to investigate it that much.
and also the first guy.
I think the organ. The organ one. The organ theory is basically sort of like is basically the second theory, but just
It's
way
basically-
more unlikely.
Yeah.
So it's sort of worth throwing aside because way more likely than the second one. But the thing is with that is you're talking about these hospitals getting these huge fines. The thing is, it doesn't. I don't think it really makes much sense to do that because look, if you're a nurse in one of these hospitals, it would have been the nurses that really did this.
Yeah,
You don't give a shit if the hospital goes under. You're like,
your job.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Your job. So like any hospital anywhere in the world, if you fuck this up, no matter what, you're losing your job. So the fact that like the hospital's getting a massive fine is sort of irrelevant. Like anyone, if they ever fuck this up, is gonna lose their job.
True.
Probably,
Or
I assume.
it could be, the nurse. Maybe it was a nurse who overdosed him or something, or both. Both on both cases. But she then, or he, they, were worried. I think people would be worried about losing their job, though.
No, I agree. I know. I'm not discounting
So
that.
So maybe
I'm just saying.
maybe
I'm saying that you said earlier that at this time, there was
I know what you
big,
mean,
suing the hospitals for millions, so it was in their interest not to fuck up. And I agree. Yeah, that it would have been in the hospital's interest not to fuck up, but it is always in a nurse's interest not to fuck up, even if they were like, oh yeah, even if they weren't being sued for like millions. I'm pretty sure a hospital would still fire a nurse if they killed a patient. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've got this wrong, but
I
I see
also
what you're saying.
it seems pretty excessive. Like you fuck it. I don't know the legalities behind it, but it's pretty risky to attempt to hide the body because that is their murder. And if they, especially, let's say they find the body 2 days later and they carry out the toxicology report, and they'll find that he died from an overdose, and then the truth is really it would have to all be a big state cover up. That is difficult to put off.
Yeah.
also
It could have been paid off.
back to the one guy and then not releasing the cause of death. The first guy, the cause of death was released. So, and it was just that he died
That was
of
the state. That was the state one. So
right. So
they
there.
could lie.
Yeah, they could
but
do what you described in the second scenario. Why didn't they just do that? But I know.
What I'm saying is why do the second one differently to the because you guys were saying it's a step further to fabricate it, but
it could be that it's from my thinking, it could be because they're so far away from different parts of Africa. It's different counties almost of local government there, and they blurred lines. They weren't, these are 2 years apart. They probably didn't talk about this, to each other. I don't think it's coming from the top, like President South Africa, right, do this. I think it's more local authority of this hospital is trying to cover this up. Then the local authority of the Durban hospital is trying to cover that up, and they went round it in a different kind of way to the first hospital.
Yeah, but then what I'm sort of saying is that regardless of what they came out with of the cause of death, people would have, this theory still would have had the same sort of backing, as in either way, people are saying you can't trust it. So the one that came back as natural and the one that came back as private, if the theory is that they bodged them both, then all information that you get really is irrelevant.
Yeah,
that's what I see it.
Yeah, but I guess,
you got to suspend. You got to believe that essentially it's a coordinated state, local authority corruption, paying people off, but also the problem is with the first one that would make a little bit more sense in terms of the timings, because the nurse could lie as well with the timings. But with the second one, it was in a busy ward, and they would have had to get this guy to stand up, which they definitely probably wouldn't have been able to think they could do. They killed him there, and they accidentally killed him there, and then they picked him up. I mean, it's possible because they're also busy.
They're also busy. You don't have to pick him up. You could just wheel him. You could put him in a wheelchair, wheel him to the storage cupboard.
I guess people could easily miss that. People could easily miss that. Yeah. But also that's risky. That's also so risky. You're relying. Actually, no, that is super risky. You're relying on everybody in that ward. Yeah, I can believe that everyone can miss him. But if you are, oh shit, I've just killed this guy, I'm gonna go and wheel him off. It's not hard to believe that I could be sitting there and be like, oh, that's that guy. That's
all it takes.
Femur. And then the next day he's missing. I'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, true,
Well, I
true,
saw it
true.
get wheeled off actually
Yeah.
by the nurse, and then that would blow their story out of the fucking water, because now the nurse wheeled them off, and they're like, "Why didn't you tell us you wheeled him off?" And the nurse would be like, "Oh, why didn't I tell you I wheeled him off? Yeah, shit. Why didn't I tell you I did that?" So that completely blows that up. So I think absolute bollocks. Completely disagree. Not a state cover up at all. Definitely they both have that.
Yeah, it just takes one little weasel.
With that piece of evidence, like, there's just no way. There's just no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, I mean, the state both kind of came out and said that this was deaths as tragic, self-induced accidents brought on by severe patient disorientation and acute psychiatric delirium. Both cases were officially closed with 0 criminal charges laid against any staff members or security firms. Both families, though, to this day, completely reject the official findings, and they argue that the state used medical psychosis as a convenient scapegoat to mass systematic criminal institutional broken security infrastructure and a lack of basic human dignity in public healthcare. So yeah,
Okay.
Not surprised they think that.
Yeah.
Sad cases here.
Also, they're more likely.
These are people's lives we're talking about here, Rolf. Right?
But Oscar said, "Oh yeah, I love this. Yeah, go. I hope there's a third one. So like, don't come on."
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool as shit.
Yeah, that's true, Oscar. You're horrible.
Shame there was not a third one. I'm not.
What? But yeah,
that's
that's the case. I'll just leave it. You've kind of said your piece, Rolf. What are you thinking, Oscar? Is it a cover up, or is it just, freak of?
No, just hallucinations, mate. They just hallucinated, hidden, died of being cold, and
okay.
Yeah, wedged in a corner. So yeah, but it's still a cool case how they both did that. Like, I mean, we don't know, for sure, but it's still cool. I've never heard that before, so yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. Before we end, did anyone get their words in?
Yeah, I did.
Well, hang on, we need to guess. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Did you?
No, I find it really difficult. I mean, I'm terrible at getting the words.
Yeah, I always forget.
I find it really difficult because I'm focusing on my seconds monitor here. Like, if I got this correct and all that. So no, I didn't get it, but I'll get it now. Oscar, you're a stubby.
Well, which one of those?
Stubby or
little or can't? Stubby, I guess. Stubby. Okay.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Interesting. I'm gonna go that your word, Rolf, was stinky.
Did I say that?
No, I don't think you did. But
Rolf's. Oh, did he say? You said something
or cheesy.
No, you said something about like. I don't know. What is it, Rolf? I don't know.
Yeah, there was one thing you said earlier, and I was like, "Oh, it might be that." Well,
it was like Shabu. I said Shabu.
No. You did also say that, and I also thought, "Oh,
I don't even think that's a word."
But yeah, that's why I was like, "I don't think that's a word." I don't think
it would have been pretty obvious. Yeah.
No, there was something you said, and you said it like quite with a little bit of like a different tone to it. So
okay.
But I can't remember what it was. But when you say your word, I'll tell you if that was the word.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
Yeah, mine was belly.
Oh, belly! Oh, that was good as well. You said it a few times.
So easy. Like when Reese was like, I was like, "Oh, perfect opportunity."
I know what Darbs has done here, so that's why I tried to guess yours after I heard what Reese's word was.
Stubby belly. Oh, it's going to be like smelly.
Mine was weasel. It was describing each of us. I thought yours was going to be like cheesy or something.
You're stubby.
What do you think? I was belly.
Yeah, you never know.
That is
good.
Funny.
Weasel. Did you get weasel?
Did you say weasel into it or something?
It was just 5 minutes ago. It's when you were saying, I was trying to get it in for ages when you were saying about all it takes is one person to see it, and I was like, yeah, all it takes is one little like weasel.
I didn't even notice you said that.
You were too locked in, so I don't know. It's not. I wouldn't say because it wasn't.
I was completely locked in when I was like,
it wasn't like I was. You were kind of speaking as well, so it wasn't like that clear. So I don't know if it counts, but we'll let people.
All right, that's well done.
Yeah, I think you get a half point for that, to be honest.
Yeah.
okay.
I'll just be like, someone's like,
I was waiting.
Like, yeah, like.
We can review
I kept
footage.
trying to say it, and then you kept going in again.
When I edit it, Rob, I'll review the.
I wanted
footage,
Rob to say something like
can we get
stupid or
VAR
annoying.
on that, please?
We'll get VR, yeah.
I wanted you to say something annoying or stupid, and then I would have gone like, "Oh, you're such a weasel," because you wouldn't have thought that. You were just,
Yeah.
People call you that all the time. So.
That didn't do.
All
right, yeah. So yeah, that's been the case of Sabia and the other one.
Yeah, Teteteke. Yeah.
Teteteke.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening or watching. I don't know who's going to be next. It's going to be Rolf.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing yet?
No.
No idea. No idea.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's find out.
We'll find out. And we'll catch you on the next one.
All right.
Bye, guys.
See ya.